Good morning, everyone. In this video, we're going to look at how to use an external API to populate a drop-down list. So in this example, we're going to use an API to get a list of all universities in the world and populate a drop-down list. So again, that's a drop-down that would be pretty cumbersome to have to fill out yourself. So let's see if we can do it with an API. So it's rather simple in ProcessMaker. We're going to go to the designer, we're going to go to data connectors, and we're going to create a new data connector. So large university name list lists all universities. And we will use basic authentication, and we will leave this as uncategorized. So here we're creating the connector, and you can see we've got the name, we have the authorization, we have the endpoints. So let's add an endpoint. So first of all, where are we getting the URL? Well, if we do a basic search for APIs, list of universities API, there's one called Hippo, and if we click, we can see that on GitHub. And in fact, if we go to the site, we can see here at universities.hippolabs.com/search, there is the full list available. So we can see the JSON here from that API. So we're going to actually just copy this, and we will use this in our data connector. So we're going to do a list universities. Method will be a get, and we will put in the URL, and it gets list of all universities. And that's pretty much it. We're going to save that. And now let's just test that. And when we test that, here's the beautiful thing about ProcessMaker is we don't have to go build any sort of process. We can just test it right here. And we can see this does bring back a JSON with an array for each university. And it's pretty easy to understand. We're seeing the alpha 2 code, the name, everything we might want to use in our list. So now we've got this connector. Let's save it. It's saved, and let's go back to our designer, and let's just build a quick process. So process get names of universities, list names of universities, and we'll leave this as uncategorized, and let's save it, and let's open it. So we're going to build a real quick process here, a start task, which will be a regular start event, a form task, which will be the form where we're going to fill out our list, and an end event. So that's basically it. Okay, now let's save that. We can give it a version name, version 1, and it's saved. So now let's go to our forms. So here's where we have the building blocks, or what we call screens. We're going to use that as our form. And so we'll build a real fast screen. So this is going to be a form. And we will save that as well. So here we're just going to add a drop-down list, a select list. And here is where the magic is going to happen. So we will call this select university. And then we will go to our data source to configure it. And we are going to use a data connector. And we are going to take everything we receive from that API call, and we're going to populate it into a response. And we will, the type of value being returned is going to be a single value, is what we're going to return. And the data connector we're going to use is called large university name list. And the endpoint is list universities. And then we are going to be waiting for a value here. And if we go back to the list, let's go back to our data connectors, open that in a new tab, and go back to university, large list of universities. And we will see that what we get back here when we test it is an array, and inside that array we are looking for name. That's what we want. Here's the name. So inside the response it'll be the name. So this would be the name, and we'll put the name and the value here as well. And we will save that. Okay, and then let's go back now to, it doesn't have a button, so of course we won't be able to execute that, but let's go back to the preview here, and now you can see it works. So as we type ahead, it finds the university, and it's really that simple. So now if we go back to our process, let's go back to our process designer and universities, get names of universities. This is our process. And so here in this form task, we're going to use this universities form that we've created, university drop-down list, and we won't do anything else there. We will save that. We don't need to put a version name if we don't want to, so we will just save it. And we're just going to go back to that screen, and we're going to add on a simple universities, I think was what we called it. Universities drop-down list. We're just going to add in a button so we can actually finish our submit. So let's just add a submit button there. Let's just call that submit, and let's save that. Actually, let's make sure we've got the label right. Yeah, variable name, we'll leave it submit, and let's save. Looks great. And let's exit out. And that should be it. If we go back to our designer now, that process should be there. So let's go back and say, I think it was called large, no, university. Get names of universities was the name of our process. So we're now starting that process. We hit the first form task, and we want to submit Harvard and submit. And that's it. We just created a process. We populated a drop-down list with an external API, and we used that to in our form. So hopefully that was very helpful for you. Thank you.